Well, I'll tell you, it was almost as if we were a sure thing going into the playoffs. Everyone was very excited. Lots of fans were commenting on they didn't mind that the second string was playing today. They wanted to make sure that the first string is really ready to head to the next games.
This is chicken corn chowder, and then I had some rolls that were warming up. And then Joyce has made some ham sliders. And then we have some salads that the other ladies have made. We have quite an assortment of wine. We're wine lovers here.
Old school! It's all about that old school!
Been doing this since Candlestick, so it's our traditional toast, one of them that we do. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
Excited because we're going to the Super Bowl in Sin City, the city that stole the A's.
Let's get fired up. We are fired up, so we're fired up for the Niners. Let's go, baby. Niners all day. Ah-ooh, ah-ooh, ah-ooh.
And as you can see, the fans were having a blast before the game began. Lots of food, lots of festivities, Chardonnay drinkers, of course, for Niner fans. And later on the 6 o'clock news, we'll give you a larger look at what other fans had to say going into this game today. I'm live in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium. Alice Wirtz, Fox 2 News.
And brought back some Candlestick memories.
There we go, yeah.
My dad and I used to go out there, get there early for a game, and put all those brats on the grill. One time I brought my DJ unit out there. I mean, it was a thing.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
I mean, some of those setups literally looked better than like my high school dances, like DJ setups.
It's serious. And the 49ers at one point were known as white wine sippers. That's why she said that. But I think now it's evolved to other things.
Like maybe a beer, got
Craft
some
beer,
seltzers out
something
there.
Something else, yeah. But for a while, the tailgates, and tailgates are going strong, it looks like it.
I mean, yeah. Maybe we should go out there
I think we should.
right?
I think we should.
Yeah. All right, well, 9, yes, you heard that, 9 49ers starters have been named to the Pro Bowl this year. Check out this list. Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, 2 of a league-high 9 Niners, of course, to make the Pro Bowl on offense. Left tackle Trent Williams, fullback Kyle Juszczyk, tight end George Kittle. On defense, we have Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, and cornerback Jontavius Ward. As a reward for making the Pro Bowl, they'll get to play in a flag football game on February 4th in Orlando, Florida, assuming that they don't have bigger plans.
They will.
Let's hear what some fans have to think about the Pro Bowl. Sal, I know you have a pretty strong opinion on
Let's
this as
hear what they
well.
have to say first. I got my things.
Number one, they've done just an awesome job. Says a whole lot, especially for John Lynch. John Lynch to be a player, go into the broadcast booth, and then become a GM that is just elite level. He is just awesome.
Elite
First of all,
level.
I don't like the Pro Bowl. You know that.
No.
I have never, maybe one time, have I watched the Pro Bowl. I am not going to waste my time on that.
How come?
It's a nice.
Tell us how you really feel, Sal.
Come on.
Okay.
I hate it. It's like flag football from these. I want to watch a real game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, listen, I know it's unpopular, but I don't watch the Pro Bowl. It's a nice honor.
Yeah.
But the 49ers are probably going to be busy doing something else.
All right, well, I think we have some update, a question from the audience maybe, but Demo might have an answer. Let's hear what he has to say.
I feel like we got a lot of young guys that got their opportunity, to get their feet wet, because we gonna need everybody with this playoff stretch. So I just feel like it was a good thing for everybody to kind of the guys that never played before to really get an opportunity. You never know when your time is called.
And I suppose the guy that most signifies that, and not on your side of the ball, but Sam Darnold looked pretty good today, like he can move the offense.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We all got faith in Sam. He come to work every day. He's a true leader, great player.
Dima, what do you see from Taylor Hawkins during the week, and how happy are you for him?
Just as preparation. You know, he come to work every day. He work hard. He finally got his opportunity. You know, I'm proud as hell of him. He got his first career interception. You know, it was a big step. He's moving in the right direction.
What's the biggest focus for you guys during the bye week?
Just picking up on the little things. You know, trying to get better in all coverages and in all phases.
Everybody seems to talk about you don't want to be rusty, but you want to be rested. What's the kind of happy medium with that?
I feel like what we kind of did today, you know, kind of some of the starters, you know, playing like with the first half, you know, just kind of, you know, getting that football feeling.
Were you guys locked in a little bit more on Puka today, and were you bummed to see him break the record?
Oh, yeah, I was sad. Yeah, that first half, yeah, it was, I mean, for myself, I'm speaking for myself right now. My whole mindset, he's not going to break the record on me. That's just that's how I felt. But, I mean, we were zeroed in. We knew he needed, I want to say 29 yards to get the record. So we was kind of like zeroed in. Like, we didn't want him to break it. Or if he did break it, we'll say he had to play all 4 quarters.
I know a lot has to happen next week, but would you be excited to see the Rams again? You guys see them all the time, and you're very familiar with them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'll be a fun game, you know, with this being our 3rd time playing them, you know, may the best man win.
How about just the prospect of no matter what, you're going to be home? So that has to feel good, too.
Oh, yeah. In front of this, and these fans in this stadium, we'll take on anybody.
Joe Fonzie, you've been around football a long time. We're going to bring you back in here. And you've been in locker rooms for, I don't even want to say how long. You and I are about the same age. So what do you think about this?
I'll tell the number.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Well, you've been around a lot of locker rooms, all right? Anything stick out about this team, or are they all winning? Is a winning team no matter what?
Yeah, I should put that interview with Diamador Lenore in a little bit of perspective. Number one, he didn't do a lot of playing today. But number two, there was something that the 49ers were very conscious of, and that is that the Rams, Puka Nacua, by all he needed in the second half was 1 yard to set the rookie receiving record, and the defensive backs didn't want him to get that. If you notice early in the game, Charvarius Ward was on him. He was being doubled some of the time, and the defensive backs were a little bit resentful that Brandon Aiyuk didn't get named to the Pro Bowl and that Puka Nacua did, and they were going to try to do everything in their power to not let him get that record, even though it didn't really have anything to do with the outcome of this game. And you notice that as soon as Nacua got that record, he was out of the game as well. So just a little bit of a side story. What keeps guys entertained in a game like this that has no significance for the 49ers as far as the standings or the playoffs are concerned? Little things like that. And what that tells you is how proud they are as players, how much pride they take in their profession, and how, we were just talking to Trent Williams a second ago, and he was being asked about how proud are you as an offensive lineman when someone like Christian McCaffrey is the NFL's leading rusher. And so you really have to, I suppose you could make the case that football is the ultimate team game. If you're an offensive lineman, you have a number that doesn't even allow you to touch the football unless you report in as eligible, as we found out last week in the game against the Cowboys and the Lions. So for an offensive lineman to be a guy who's there grinding it out and giving the quarterback time to stand in the pocket and throw a touchdown to a receiver who then does a dance and all those various kinds of things, you have to be an ultimate team guy to recognize that no one really knows who I am unless I commit a penalty, but we get pride in the fact that as a team, we succeed. And so way back, long answer to what you said a minute ago, Sal, there are locker rooms that don't have that dynamic, that don't have that element, and this one certainly does. And that's what you have to have in a winning locker room. Now, is that a guarantee of anything? Absolutely not, because crazy things happen in the playoffs. Some very good teams get knocked off in the playoffs. The playoffs is a whole other animal. But they have the basic things that you would want for a team that you expect to succeed in the playoffs. And the other thing about this one particular locker room, if this had been a game that really mattered, you'd see some really upset players in that locker room. But they know that, number one, the people who are the difference makers weren't even in the game when it was all said and done because they have a bigger plan in place. And it's that bigger plan that they're accounting for and hoping that that translates into a deep run in the playoffs and their ultimate goal, which this team made no bones about it at the very beginning of the season. This is a team that has the expectation that they should compete to be into the Super Bowl. And anything less than that would be a disappointment for them.
Hey, Joe, just one man talking here, and that's me. I think CMC is the MVP of this team. Now, a lot of people would say it would be Brock Purdy. In fact, we were having this discussion. And I know that you're a journalist, but just give me your journalist take on, do you think I'm off base here with CMC as the runaway MVP of this team?
Well, honestly, I am someone, I'm going to give you my true journalist take. I could care less about individual awards. When guys don't get voted into the Pro Bowl, there might be a little bit of resentment if they think they deserve it. But the very last thing anybody in that locker room cares about is who the most valuable player is. They want to have 53 guys all sporting a Super Bowl ring when it's all said and done. So, you can make the case either way. For me personally, I could care less about that.
That's a good point.
What I care about is if I'm on this team, I'm saying, hey, we want to get there together. We can't get there without all of us pulling together. So that's our ultimate goal.
That's a good point.
So if that's how you feel, good for you. Yeah, good for you. But for me personally, that's something that, personal awards, I don't get that riled up about them one way or the other because you can make a good case for anybody.
Oh, Joe, I'm glad, my man, that you do not look at a lot of social media because, the fans get all riled up, right? They get all riled up.
Oh, my goodness, yes. And I make it that is my habit to not do that. And I will give you that number. This is my 42nd year in the Bay Area. My anniversary date is the first of the year. So I just started my 42nd year. So, yeah, I've seen some. And even before I was in the Bay Area, I could show you where I was on the sideline behind the Dallas Cowboy bench when Joe Montana threw to Dwight Clark for the catch. So if you want to freeze that, when the cameras go up, you freeze it right there. Look for a guy who had the everybody wants to be Tom Selleck mustache of the early 80s, and there I am standing there right by the down marker going, watching the play.
Joe,
so, yeah, if you want to get a good laugh, you can go do that.
Quite simply, you're the man, Joe. Thanks. We'll probably come back to you here. It's amazing. I love,
a walking history book on everything Niners and football.
I've watched Joe for a long time in the Bay Area.
Sometimes before, I went to availability with Joe, Niners players availability with Joe, and I was just asking him so many questions about all these moments that he's witnessed, like in real time, in real life. And I'm like, what was it like? Was it actually like this? Did you see this? Did you see this? We know Joe doesn't care one way or another about awards.
Notice the answer. He's thinking like the team.
Yep.
Those guys don't care.
No, they don't.
But the fans do.
They do.
Right? So a lot of people are thinking that Lamar Jackson has locked up the MVP. Let's hear what some of the tailgaters for the Niners think, Bailey.
All right. Let's see. I'm curious.
MVP is going to be Christian McCaffrey. Consistency, touchdowns, right? He's going to be all the way #1 most versatile player in the NFL.
Oh my gosh, it's Purdy. He's been saving the day. We had a few rough patches, a few lost games, but no, he's kicking ass.
I think Christian McCaffrey's the MVP because he's just so amazing and he's really elevated this team to a new level.
Well, there you go. Kind of splits. They kind of agree with us. Half CMC, half Brock Purdy.
I'm looking to see if any of our Twitter people are in a fight yet, because they're going to be.
There's almost nothing I love more than a good Twitter fight. Truly, there really isn't. We kind of went through and decided kind of who we think should, take home some post-regular season awards that maybe don't actually exist other than MVP. I said CMC, you said Brock Purdy. Why do you think Brock Purdy? Although I also kind of agree with you. I don't think there's one choice.
Yeah, okay. So, listen, I said Brock Purdy partly because you said CMC, because you do make a good point about CMC. But obviously the most important player on the field is the quarterback. And we've seen that when we were a 49ers team, not we, they, because I don't play. When Jimmy G was the quarterback, it was a good team. With Brock Purdy, it's a much better team.
Yeah.
That's been the difference in my opinion, even though CMC is a nice piece.
He's a cherry on top.
Right. But, I mean, without having someone who, I hate to say this about Jimmy G, but Jimmy G always had that late interception coming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I feel a lot more confident with Purdy in there.
Yeah. And we talk about this team. There's so many talented people. Literally, I was trying to fall asleep the other night, and I was going through the Niners roster. In my brain, I couldn't go to sleep. I was legitimately thinking about all the talent that they have. So we want to spread the love to some other guys who maybe don't always show up on the stats sheet. So here's what I kind of thought. So MVP, of course, Christian McCaffrey. We just said that. The unsung hero, I'm giving that to Juice. I think he just doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. Bodyguard, Fred Warner, that's who I want to protect me. Wingman, who you want to hang out with. George Kittle, I mean, come on. Is there anybody more fun with more personality on that team?
This is a good list. I think I made a list to see if they can put my list up here. Just to, okay, mine was Brock Purdy. I think that obviously the team does not go anywhere without his play this year. Unsung hero, Jake Moody, and I said this before the game, and then he had a game, and so I instantly freezing cold taked myself, right? And people were clowning me on Twitter. Good. But I still think that Jake Moody has been pretty good. There was a time when they were talking about bringing Robbie Gould back, and this kid just put his head down, and he had a bad game today. I'm not sure if I can take much away from that because it's kind of a, maybe he didn't have the NFL pressure. Bodyguard, Nick Bosa, I mean, that dude, he's so cool and collected, but he's big and mean. And I think that his best playing days, Bailey, are yet to come. And my wingman, someone I'd want to go out and have a couple with, would be Deebo Samuel. Man, I'd like to roll up anywhere with him.
So cool. And our producer, Carlos, says that he really likes B.A., Brandon Aiyuk. That's kind of his unsung hero of this season. And that is exactly who is up at the podium right now post-game. So we want to hear from B.A. Locker room, excuse me.
Stay in rhythm, stay on routine. Have a week where we're still having to pay attention, having to still go through the process. And then, that was pretty much it.
Kyle was talking about all week, it's important for Sam to get reps because you have to prepare for the worst. How helpful was it for the first-team offense to see him in game action?
It was cool. Nice to go out there with them, get some points on the board, start off a game with them. We played a game with them a couple weeks ago, but that was a little bit different circumstances. So, just starting the game off with them.
Were you reassured that if he is needed, he seemed like he's up to the task?
Yeah, he did a good job.
Brandon, what do you enjoy most about playing in the playoffs?
Everything.
Can you describe the winner goes home elimination game mentality for you as a player? You get a couple weeks now to get ready, but can you just kind of describe everything that goes into that?
It's just exciting, getting ready, preparing for it. Like you said, win or go home. So it's a one-game season from here on out, and that's all you can ask for as a player.
What changes for you? Shut down or roll somewhere? Have your mindset or preparation change?
This is my first round bye, so I'm just really trying to follow behind the coach's lead and figure out what to do from there. So other than that, keep everything else the same, but just whatever I can to get myself ready.
You guys started out obviously with high expectations to get to where you are now. How much have you enjoyed the journey, and how much you guys do expect to be at this point where you're at right now?
I think that's kind of a cool thing too, because we did expect it. So we're kind of in a spot right now where we pictured ourselves being for a while now since our season ended last year. So here we are in that position. So
all right,
we're excited.
Let's interrupt here because Joe has Javon Hargrave right next to him here, and he's going to come in and they're going to talk to us. Joe.
Yeah, guys. One of the things that's fun for me on my kind of weekly trips down here is every now and then you get a chance to sit down with a guy that you never had a chance to talk to before. And earlier in the year, Javon Hargrave and I talked about, number one, what made you decide to come here, because last year at this time you were with the Philadelphia Eagles and about to hand the 49ers a very disappointing loss. So what's it feel like to be on the other side of that right now?
We got the number 1 seed, got a bye, and this is when the real football starts. So it's just, I'm excited to get going in the playoffs and, just happy to be on this side right now.
Yeah, tell me about the difference. Playoff football, it's one thing to go in. Once the games start going, your seeding doesn't mean a darn thing. It's win or go home. So what's the difference kind of in a playoff game versus a regular season game?
You can't really make too many mistakes. And, it's any given Sunday or Monday or whatever the game is. It's just you got to play your best ball. It ain't always the better team that wins. It's the team that show up and play the best.
How would you gauge this game? Obviously, in many ways, this was an exhibition game. You didn't want to get people hurt. Yet, there were some things you wanted to see, and I think what you guys did see is if Sam Darnold is called upon, pretty positive results by him today.
Yeah, we just, we just came out here and did what Coach told us to do. And as much as we play, we try to put our best foot forward. And, like you say, it's time to play some ball now.
How about as you guys prepare now, you're going to find out next weekend who you played. Probably doesn't matter who you get. What is the process now to kind of wait and see next week and then try to stay sharp with 2 weeks off?
I mean, we're going to be practicing a lot this week. So I guess we practice this week, try to get better, and sit at home and see who we got for next week.
So Kyle's not going to really give you any time off, is he?
Nah, this ain't really a bye week this time of the year.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just don't play on the weekend, don't play a real game. But we're gonna be practicing.
And just one final thing is you're part of a position group that is one of the real strengths on this team. When you look from top to bottom on that defensive line, how much fun is it to work with all of these guys on a weekly basis?
I mean, I play with some great players, and I feel like we all complement each other. So it's real fun to go out there and we all compete against each other and compete with each other. So we just try to work as a team, and we know we got to carry the load a lot if we want to get where we want to go.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by, and can't wait for a couple of weeks and see who you get and see how things go in that game.
I can't wait either.
All right, thanks, Javon. Appreciate it. All right, guys, that's Javon Hargrave. Let's go back to you in the studio.
Thanks so much, Joe. We want to now toss it to a name that has left our mouths quite a few times today, Sam Darnold, who is talking to the media at the podium.
You're probably not going to play that well. So just try to keep it one thing at a time and focus on my job every single play and just move on to the next play after that.
Do you have any last word to Jake Moody trying to tell him that you were going to go out there and try to get him one last hit?
What's that?
Did you talk to Moody at all, say that you were going out there trying to get him one last chance?
No, I didn't talk to Jake before we went out there. Again, like I just said, I was trying to just lead the team down there and hopefully, score in any way that we could. So, thanks, guys.
All right, I guess we caught him at the tail end there. I think he played well. We talked about this, Bailey.
Yeah.
He didn't have the regular core receivers there.
No, but I think he really did still prove to a lot of Niners fans that hopefully, knock on wood, I don't know what's wood here, but if something happens to Brock Purdy, not everything will be lost.
After last year, it's fresh in our minds, really.
Absolutely. And Sam Darnold, I pulled up his stats here, 16 of 26, 189 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and of course that heartbreaking fumble there at the end. But something else, I was doing a little bit of research because we were talking about this, we don't know that too much about Sam Darnold. He seems, pretty quiet, comes in, does his job, and then has a performance like today, which was overall, I think, pretty well.
Good, yeah.
But one interesting thing I found is that Sam's late grandfather, and maybe we can pull up the graphic here, led a pretty interesting life. So Dick Hammer was his name. He played basketball at USC, of course, the same school Sam went to. But then he was an Olympian. He played in the '64 Summer Olympics for a different sport, volleyball. That's insane. I can't imagine playing, D1 one sport and then going to the Olympics and playing a different sport.
Joke, too.
Right. Then he's like, I'm going to change gears. I'm going to become an actor. So he starred as a fire captain on Emergency, a pretty old TV show. But then in the middle of filming that show, he was like, you know what? I think I should become a real fire captain. So that's literally exactly what he did. He retired as that. He retired as a real fire captain in Southern California. But then if that's not all enough, then he became the Marlboro Man in cigarette ads in the 70s.
Wow.
Most interesting man, most kind of wide-ranging resume.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, that guy.
Yeah.
Right?
I was like, that might be the most wide-ranging resume I've ever seen.
It's nice to have a little bit of, depth to who these guys are. These guys have become a brotherhood, as you heard them say. They're all a team now. We wanted to be clicking like this. Exactly. If you're a 49er fan. And Darnold is key. I hope we don't see a lot of them, but it's good to have them there.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think good for Niner fans to kind of see this secondary squad kind of come in and play pretty well, put up a pretty good game. Of course, the score in this one, the Niners losing a heartbreaker, just a 1-point difference, 21-20. The Rams taking this one. We want to thank all of you for tuning in. I think we have some pretty exciting football to come. Hargrave said it best, the real football starts now. We want to thank Joe out in Levi Stadium, Alice as well, and we will see you guys next time.
We got to take you to Hopper.
Yes, that's next on the list.
Take it easy.